Exactly. All right, gentlemen, let's move straight to our next conversation. Secrecy, as they say, can shield the most audacious acts of corruption, but the truth has a way of surfacing. The Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, has now broken its silence on seized property in Abuja, accusing a former governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, Godwin Emefiele, and his associates of acquiring a massive 753 duplex estate located in Cadastral Zone area, Abuja, through foreign exchange kickbacks. So, BK,
yeah.
Why did it take the EFCC so long, to reveal, the identity of the owner? Because as of yesterday, we didn't know.
You see, maybe because naturally, the EFCC will ask through the courts, the owner of the property to come forward.
Yeah.
Once they indicate that this property is under investigation, if you are the owner and you know that it's not the proceed of crime, you will step forward.
Okay.
If you don't step forward, they will then approach the court and ask the court to use its power to cause a forfeiture of the property. Nobody step forward. Within the window, within the time frame, within the ceiling that the court gave, nobody came to say that, look, this thing belongs to
me.
So EFCC then felt, since nobody claimed that it belongs to them, then there's no point coming out to say this is what happened. But when people like Shore who now started abusing them, that they were trying to conceal identity, then journalists also didn't just sit down. They looked at the court papers. The court papers indicated clearly that though you were silent, though you were trying to conceal information from Nigerians, the court papers indicated that you knew that this thing, these houses are linked to Emefiele and his cronies. Because they will have done some background checks. Some people must have taken them to that place. Some people must have given them actionable intelligence before they even knew that that thing was there.
Exactly.
You understand? And the same people will have told them, look, he's a former CBN governor. So the EFCC cannot claim that it did not know the owner. But to be doubly sure, they will approach the court and expect the owners to come out and say, okay, this house belongs to me. It is not the proceed of crime. This is how I made the money.
To build a property.
It's just like, I think it was this Baba Oronsai that was accused of building a house with the proceeds of corruption. And that decent man came forward with check stubs to show that he actually took a loan from a mortgage bank. The check stubs. Every month, he had everything. So, if you don't have evidence to prove that the structure is not proceed of crime, then you are going to forfeit this to government. That is what has happened. But now that Nigerians are aware, because for me, when I was speaking with a friend in the EFCC, I said, but the court papers showed that this, at least you put people's names. So what is the point? Do they not know that sometimes people can get some of these things?
Exactly.
Great journalists who want to add a fresh line to a piece of news will move beyond what everybody already knows.
Exactly.
A properly trained journalist. Not people just wearing funny suits all over the place and calling themselves journalists and making noise on TV. Properly trained journalists know that, look, you don't have to simply rely on what someone else had done. If you rely solely on what someone else had done, what if that person didn't do it? You have to add your own lines to a developing story. You take a step further. That's how properly trained journalists behave. And some journalists just say, oh, EFCC won't tell us the owners of this house. Okay, let's look for the court papers. The court papers showed clearly who the EFCC felt owned it. That's how the world now knows that it is Emefiele and his cronies. Now the EFCC has come out to say, oh, the buildings were put together from kickbacks. People desperate for Forex, including those not really desperate but just seeking to make money. They approach Emefiele, who ran a very corrupt CBN, the worst CBN governor in Nigerian history. No emphasis mine. They approached him. He will give them, make Forex available, and then get his own share, slip into his pocket.
Process of round tripping.
Clearly, he must have very deep pocket.
Very deep.
So, today, we now know that this is what has happened. The big shame of it all is when some people say, oh, it's not the only one. If you are saying it's not the only one, if you know other people, if you are in Nigeria, if you are not a very bad example of the Nigerian, you call yourself a journalist, a lawyer, or whoever you think you are. If you know who again has this kind of property put together with stolen funds, let the world know those people. But for you to begin to think, oh, my own thief is not as big as your own thief, something is wrong with you.
Exactly.
That is what we are seeing. We are seeing people posting that I see the only one, the other people say. So if it's not the only one, does that mean we should not complain about what he has done? So something is wrong with the generation that believes that, oh, he must not condemn a terrible act.
Because others are doing it.
Because others are doing it.
No,
or because the person who has done it is not one of the people that he hates. That is a doomed generation. That is a doomed generation. It's a disgrace.
Sure.
Yes. Because that's what we are seeing. Some people that you have respect for, you see what they post, you now have an idea of what the inner recesses of their heart looks like. You now know that these are not even human beings. They are funny examples of Homo sapiens. You cannot say, oh, because others, it's not the only one doing it. That is, we know that it's not the only one doing it.
Exactly.
You find the lever to expose other people who are doing it. The EFCC has done a good job. Let others too tell the EFCC where this kind of houses are and who owns them. That's how we can build a country. Not refuse to condemn an abominable act because you have some sympathy for the person who has committed the act, or because you hate the government of the day. That's not how to be a good Nigerian, because President Tinubu will not be there forever. He's going to leave someday.
Sure.
The Yorubas will say anything.
Exactly.
No. And he has a maximum of 2 terms. He will leave. But we will be back to continue to grapple with existential issues in our country. Unless we make up our minds that, look, we have to fight corruption. An individual, a civil servant, will have 86 exotic vehicles. More than 20 of them bulletproof jeeps. In this same country, where people are starving, people are stealing. And then you don't want to condemn an individual because you have some sympathy for it. That means even you are worse than him. That is the shame that I see in all this. Look, we can talk about corruption. We can dedicate an entire week talking about corruption in our country. and we won't repeat ourselves because it's such a big, such a massive problem that we have.
A very massive problem. But looking at this, let's talk about trusting the people assigned to fight corruption. What is your assessment of, what is playing out now as far as this property is concerned?
Trusting the people that are assigned to do something is a very difficult thing to do in this country, honestly. But I personally hope that the descent of the querulous and arrogant Emefiele from his Olympian height into an abyss of shame will serve as a lesson to other civil servants, other people, other public servants that are in his shoes. A man who was supposed to, or who superintended over an agency that is supposed to, take decisions that will impact positively on the economy of the country.
Yes.
Is linked to all sorts. Remember that apart from this, there are 3 corruption cases that is involved in. There is one in Abuja where he's been accused of forging former president's signature. There is
about
one.
Redesign?
Yes. There's another one, an alleged fraud of $4.5 billion and $2.8 billion. That one is in Lagos. There's another one of printing of 684.5 million naira notes at the cost of 18.96 billion.
It is not funny.
No, it's not funny.
It is.
The way we mention billions,
it is embarrassing.
It feels like we're talking about
coins.
50 naira notes, 100 naira notes. We're talking about billions. We're talking about dollars, billions, even in dollars. You understand what I'm trying to say? I just hope that the EFCC this time will do a very diligent prosecution. Even this case we are talking about, it does not end with Emefiele. Now, the contractors who were said to be giving him kickbacks to get Forex,
they are also
guilty. The companies that were allegedly used to, the property was bought in the name of, I think, 3 companies. A particular person
the place was meant to be used for
housing project. Yes. A particular person's name was mentioned. If I in something.
Yeah, I heard
that was a foot soldier, alleged foot soldier.
And they found the documents during the check, during the search in
I hope we are going to even see the face of that person in court. So let it be that.
Or that person is not the big fish.
I know.
It is Emefiele. Emefiele thought he had 2 lifetimes. Because I don't know how, what do they think that they can do with all of this money? One person,
you talk about somebody
753.
having 86 exotic cars.
Yes.
For God, what do you want? Even a normal person,
you can only drive one at a time.
What do you do with 86 cars?
You can only drive one at a time.
Sometimes I actually wonder why these people perpetrate corruption like this. Because if you are appointed,
at those houses,
if you are appointed into certain public positions, the money you earn legally,
yes,
the money you earn legally, the money
it's enough for you. It's just pure greed.
It is not a primary. It's not a village primary school teacher job. It's not a minimum wage job. I mean, even if you didn't have money and you're appointed,
Paul, the favors that people show to you, if you are a person who has contentment, even the favors that they show to you should be enough for you.
Should be enough for contentment.
I know a public officer in Nigeria, a retired public, who said that anybody in government who is big in government who steals must be crazy.
Honestly.
That even sometimes people, they just come, they will drive a brand new vehicle, park in your house. That's a gift for a favor you did a long time ago. That person will not even wish to be known. Yeah. So why should people still steal? Why?
All right, gentlemen, we need to go on this quick break. But when we return, we'll still, chew on this matter. We need to go on this quick break. Don't go anywhere. Still journalist hangout.
Wires and cables come and come back, light up your life. Come and want to light up your house. Come and want to give you better. Come and next to ordinary wire. Come and cables, come and wires, come and quality, come and durable, come and cable, come and cables, come
One Cable. Great quality. Now with the new look.
All right, if you just joined us, it's still Journalist Hangout. I still have Paul Dada and BKO. Now, BKO, looking at this, now that we now know the true owner of the cronies and all of it, what do you expect afterwards?
We now know the owner. The owner, Nigerians are the owners now. Nigerians are the owners because those ones denied. It's not as if they owned up that it belongs to them.
Sure.
We are the owners now. You and I, Paul, the rest of us, we are the owners. So it's not Omeke who was doing the legwork for Emefiele. It's not Emefiele anymore. Those buildings now belong to the Nigerian state. And they shouldn't waste time. Even some federal government agencies don't have offices. They don't have offices. Remember, Abike Dabiri was cutting with Pantami?
Yeah, I think it was booted out or something.
One day, Pantami got up and said, I leave the office. The office that does not belong, that don't belong to him. He completely appropriated the government property. So, there are agencies without, some of them are sharing buildings. Some of them are sharing buildings. Even the Federal Ministry of Information, do they have standalone property of their own? So, and we have people who built this. The courts have seized what they built. That means their effort came to nothing. They will be thinking of where they can steal fresh money now. Because this investment has become a waste. You know? So let government begin to put this to use. Sell this property to other people. The late Afabalogun, they seized many properties from him and they sold them. I know a person who even bought one of Afabalogun's houses that will complete with a swimming pool and all that. Not far from where we are talking. So what is new? Let them, because I don't want a situation in which, in future, you will hear that they've given this thing back to the same people, because it has happened before. So let's find a way, begin to take control of that place. John Yakubu stole 24 billion. Was working in police pensions. He stole 24 billion. And then a court in our country gave him a fine of 750,000.
Plea bargaining.
Not plea bargaining. I say fine. Fine is not the same thing as
fine. 700.
Fined him. After his trial, the lower court fined him 750,000 for him to walk free. The matter annoyed people. Wow. And then it was appealed. At the level of appeal, the court then said, okay, you are going to 6 years imprisonment, and the court imposed fines of 20 billion, 1.4 billion, and 1.5 billion on each of the counts. Okay. So you could see that, okay, the judiciary tried to redress the abhorrent...
The first judgment.
That came from the lower court. How can somebody steal? What is
750,000? 750,000.
To somebody who stole 24 billion.
Exactly.
Stealing from the poor, because Nigerian policemen are among the poorest people that you can find. You stole 24 billion from them. This is how a lot of these people steal from the poor. Incremental stealing from the poor. That is what we are seeing going on. Because, look, Abuja, there are many people who can't find houses in Abuja. And somebody, if it is not a extreme malady, how do you, what do you want to do with all of these houses? Do you know what a duplex is in Abuja? We are talking about 750, 753. And it's not the only one. Look at the one who was Accountant General. Look at what he did. The one who, unfortunately, they even gave him extension. You gave extension to a thief.
But in addressing corruption...
109 billion.
Yes. In addressing corruption, where do we start?
Okay.
Is it from the judiciary? Is it from, where do we start?
Everybody.
Stiffer penalties maybe?
No, let's talk about judiciary.
Okay.
Judiciary is said to be the last hope of the common man.
Yes. Is it still?
And you need courageous judges on the bench.
Yes.
Courageous
judges. But I like what is happening now.
Judges.
You remember that just recently some judges were dealt with.
Yes,
by the NJC under this current CGN. We need people, men and women that are above board, men and women that will not be intimidated by senior advocate of Nigeria who have been practicing law since eternity started, if at all eternity had a starting point. You understand? Men, people like, we've had judges like that in this country. We have had judges that
who will stand
are shining,
exactly,
exactly shining stars. You understand? But these days, you know, take for example, if you're a lawyer,
yes,
you served in the chambers of this man, and then you became a judge, or you are intimidated by the height of that SAN. Or when the defender parades
100 SANs, we've seen that before.
I used to cover the judiciary. I have seen judges that will never be intimidated.
Yes.
Yes.
I've seen them too.
There was one judge that told them, a DPP in Lagos, former DPP, and said, "You don't join them." She was a female judge. She was like, "Don't join all these other lawyers. Don't be like them." You know, she was saying it openly. There are judges that do their job without sentiment,
without fear.
But there are others. They are intimidated. You just said of a judge. You told about a judge who gave with what we should not even
fine.
Kind of fine for someone who stole billions.
750,000.
750,000. That judge
what
himself.
What is 750,000 to 24 billion?
That judge himself was abetting corruption.
Of course.
Abetting corruption.
Those are the things that NJC should look at.
Yes. We should have more sanctions.
You know,
for earning judges.
I will never. There is one judge in Kano, the Miscellaneous Offences Tribunal. It's a young reporter. I was in court. F.R.A. Williams was the lawyer. Sitting, you know, F.R.A. Williams he was not standing to address the court anymore. Old man to sit down. And then it was the person being put on trial was the son of Justice Fred Anyegbunam. A big judicial officer. I think he was president of the Court of Appeal. I'm not so sure anymore. He was president of the Court of Appeal. He didn't stop that judge from jailing the guy. We were all shocked. They told us before we got into it, they said, no, they will find a way because of the intimidating presence of Timidi law.
Exactly.
Timidi law.
Big inside that law. You know, what do you want? Even as a judge, you'll be intimidated.
Exactly.
Those are the people who taught you law.
Exactly.
You know, the biggest lawyer in our country for so many years, for decades, arguing a matter before you. And then the matter involved one of the biggest justices to come out of our country. He still didn't stop that judge from jailing the boy. And not long after that, Justice Anyegbunam died. Please, the point that I'm making is, I don't know whether his death was related to what happened, but there are some judges who will not succumb to pressure, who will do their job diligently, and remember that they are representatives of God on earth. Remember the story that Justice Anyagolu told. Justice Anyagolu said, see, God made us representatives on earth because once we bungle a case, it's only God that can do the dress, and it's no longer going to be on earth if you are the final court, especially. So I hope our judges will continue to stand firm and help us defeat corruption.
While we talk judges, lawyers as well.
Well, lawyers.
Lawyers.
See, when a lawyer is defending a client, expect that lawyer to come up with all sorts of answers.
Oh, you know, the EFCC even talked about...
It's not right. We've seen where even lawyers get jailed.
Yeah, I know. What I'm trying to say is, but you also need a judge to put a lawyer. See, there are some lawyers that will want to come up with some frivolous applications. A courageous judge will not accept that.
Yes. He knows where you are going. So
Exactly.
He will stop you in your tracks.
You will always have lawyers that will be full of antics. Lawyers are the people. They are very good lawyers. I respect that profession. But lawyers are also part of the causing problem in this country.
Yes. They are part of the rot.
This is where NJC, MBA.
Some lawyers are not, because of the money they want to collect from that rich client, they cannot tell the client the truth.
Yes. That is a bad case.
That is a bad case. And they know it's a bad case.
Okay, an offense was committed in the east.
Yes.
You now went to Birnin Kudu in Jigawa State to get a judgment. That's what is called forum shopping. Or what's the meaning of that? And you know that judgment cannot stand the test of time. You just did this so as that you can milk.
Exactly. Because whether you win or you lose, you will
collect money. So the client will be very excited. He pays you, but that can only last for a short while.
Yeah, but the lawyer has made his money. So we need judges. Then investigators to, what is most painful to me is when a judge has to tell the prosecuting agency that, look, you have not done your job well. We've seen that happen. He said, look, I'm not going to sit. The judge is not going to be looking for evidence for you. The court is not a fact-finding institution. It's not
an emotional thing.
It's not investigating. So if you don't do your job well, if you don't do your job well,
yes,
the judge will have no choice. He might even dismiss the case because for want of evidence. So you have to, in a criminal case, you have to prove your case beyond reasonable doubt. Not every shadow of doubt, though.
Yes.
Beyond reasonable doubt. You understand that? It's clear that what you have, the evidence you have brought is strong enough. But if you have no evidence, you just did a shoddy job. We have seen the FCC do good job. We have also seen them do shoddy jobs. So this kind of matter, the Emefiele matter, and high-profile cases like that, it's not the one they can undo carelessly. So I hope it doesn't.
The matter has even come to an end now. So the thing has been forfeited to.
No, okay, that's
exactly.
this one now. But there are other three issues, corruption issues.
But BK, maybe in rounding up, in addressing corruption in Nigeria, or more orientation, or what do you suggest? We've talked about lawyers, we've talked about judges. Where else, in addressing it? It's turning into a giant.
I think that a reorientation of Nigerians is very important because the excessive love of money is killing us. Excessive love of money is killing us in many ways. Okay, somebody was given a job to do because he wants to steal some money from the contract sum, where he's supposed to use a 16 mm iron rod, or reinforcement as they call it. He goes to use 12 mm.
The structural integrity is already...
Yes, it's already compromised the integrity of the... and you see, sometimes where, because you are molding blocks, you must have the right mix of sand and cement and even water. Did you see the video of Governor Zulum carrying blocks that were molded? Was just dropping them like this.
And they were...
Because they were just scattering. I see some blocks that they use in Abuja where they use this granite particles, granite dust to do, what's it called?
Blocks.
To do blocks. If you drop it on the ground like this, it stands. It stands. Those are the kind of blocks that you, at least when you build your house, you
know that exactly.
Why are building collapsing in our country? Because corrupt people in the building agency, corrupt people among contractors and regulators, maybe engineers, they will not do due diligence. They will not follow the law. They just want to make money.
You do that a lot.
Then the synagogue that collapsed at that time. Go and read the coroner's report on the collapse of a synagogue. All of the ridiculous things they were saying at that time, that one aircraft.
Exactly.
Absolute rubbish. A building was not, you took a building beyond the level that was approved. If they approved 3-story, why should you go and build 7?
Because from the foundation,
yes, from the superstructure, you will know whether it can go all the way to 7. But you just say, oh, no, let us do it. And then you kill more
people.
than 80 people in the process. More than 3/4 of them South Africans. Because some people didn't do their work. They were compromised. Right. The same one, the building that collapsed on Lagos Island the other day, it was a similar thing that happened. The regulators came and said, no, you need to stop work here. They didn't like some of what was going on. But because some of the people were big, somehow they forced them to not shut down the premises. What did we see? People lost their lives, including the owner of the structure. So corruption, if we do not tame corruption, and one way to tame corruption is even to change the law.
The 1999 Constitution?
Yes, because the law is a slap in the wrist for corruption.
Okay.
We need to tighten our laws. It's just like drug trafficking.
Okay.
People will keep trafficking drugs because the law in Nigeria does not really deter them. It is when they go to Malaysia, they go to Thailand, they know that they will cut their necks. Here,
so you think stiffer penalties?
Of course, yeah. Yeah.
But there was a time in Nigeria when stiffer penalty for drug abuse did not stop people from...
No. The rate, go and check.
Yes.
Because at least at that time, I was already matured. At that time, people didn't want to do anything. Yeah. Even if you gave it to someone to pass to another person, the same law will apply to you. It's not, you are not trafficking. They just gave you, help me keep this for this person. Nobody wanted to traffic drugs. Whoever told you that, well, I know you were so young then. Whoever told you, see, it was not rampant at that time. People were scared. Come on, I remember. I'm talking about 1984. Yeah. Part of 85. People were scared to carry drugs.
You know why also people were scared? Apart from the fact that the penalties were stiff, the people were enforcing the laws.
They enforced, and they executed people. We saw them and they were executed.
Business. Now, VKO says we need stiffer penalties. Yes. I agree. But even at the point of enforcement,
even at the point of enforcement,
the people that have caught you, are they going to collect bribes or not? That's the question. Are they going to let you go after collecting money from you? You know, this is part of the problem.
People always think that, look, we will bribe them. And,
exactly. This is part of the problem. Even if you have...
If they don't bribe the law enforcement, they will bribe
lawyers,
judges,
you know?
And everything. That's
so people always think that they will get away with it. I think the feeling, why do you think that people don't want to commit crimes in places like the UK, in places like America?
Saudi Arabia.
You know that the possibility of escaping justice
is very slim.
Is slim. Yeah. But in our country, people know that, look, whatever it is, somebody will call from Abuja and say they should leave
him, and then you leave him.
We catch terrorists. They take them to Abuja, maybe from Jos. Before you know it, somebody has made a phone call. Oh, yeah, please release that boy. Is my first. He won't do it again. Is that how countries that want to progress, is that how they apply the law? You must apply the law fairly to everyone.
Exactly.
Not that some people, they are too big. How many of our former presidents have we jailed? And
that's another question.
There are countries that I know that have jailed their presidents.
Yeah, they have jailed their presidents.
For tax evasion, no, not that he killed person, no. Tax evasion. Do we take tax evasion that seriously in our country? We don't even want to pay tax.
It's so easy to arrest a Yahoo boy that defrauded someone of 500,000, parade the person, and get the person convicted. It's easy. But when it comes to an ex-governor, it becomes...
So you think there's double standard here?
People must be... We need the people that are very courageous at every level. Look at the shenanigans Yahya Bello was just displaying, you know, for a long time, and the sitting governor was preventing him from being arrested and prosecuted. Look at how...
No, I don't think exactly.
He was the one who took him there.
Exactly.
Don't go there.
Let's not mix it.
No, he didn't prevent him.
Okay.
He didn't prevent him.
Okay,
don't
fine.
say that.
But
he took him there. Did they arrest him when he took him?
But the truth of the matter is that even EFCC has not been courageous enough in dealing with some of these people. And so you have people that look like sacred cows. Whereas you can pick people on the street. Police can go on the street and arrest somebody for illegal. Have you heard of that?
How many
illegal standing?
How many of the people that the EFCC even arrested, how many of them were successfully jailed? Those big people that you are talking about.
Yes.
Before our eyes here, James Ibori was put on trial. and pronounced not guilty.
Not guilty.
With the same pieces of evidence that EFCC put together. The same man was jailed in the UK. He was not the only one jailed. They jailed wife. They jailed his lawyer. They jailed some of his acquaintances. Because there was cast iron evidence that he committed the offense. But in our country, even the way we apply the law, the justice system itself is a problem.
Okay.
We've seen we can't keep blaming the EFCC for everything. Sure. There are some people, I remember the ICPC chairman complaining that somebody stole money. Stole money, built properties here and there. And the court told them, so the property that they seized from him, the court released nearly all of the property to him. And the ICPC chairman was complaining that what kind of thing is this? Will that encourage you to take the war against corruption like something that you either win the war or you die? It diminishes people's faith in the country. It demoralizes people. Because some of these people who are able to hire the best lawyers, who can play all kinds of tricks, they will approach the court. That is why the politically exposed persons are much more difficult to jail than the Yahoo boys. The Yahoo boys have not got the kind of money that these people who have stolen you and I dry. Won't they have money to bribe judges? Of course, they will have money to hire the best. Of course, they will have money to buy judges. They will have money to bribe. To buy the best lawyers, and those lawyers will do whatever it takes. And sometimes it is not even the money you give the lawyer that matters. It is what gets to the judge. So what are we talking about?
How did he get?
Of course, now. Of course, some of these people, these politicians, prioritize bribing judges than paying legal fees of lawyers.
Because they know the judge has the final say.
He knows that, especially in electoral matters.
The judge has the final say.
Especially on electoral matters. So you now find that, okay, you don't want to give me money. He knows that it is not you that will win the matter for him. So it's a big, big problem that we are facing.
So where should
we cannot make progress if we don't defeat.
Where should the change start from? From parents or from the top?
From the home.
From the home.
Parents now, yes. Like in the past, parents now. A child brings a brand new vehicle home. They won't even ask. Parents now are encouraging their children to take to Yahoo.
Yes, I've heard of that before.
The Association of
Parents from Hell.
Yahoo Boys Mothers.
Yes.
In one of the
yes,
states.
I heard that.
You heard of that? Apart from parents, also religious institutions.
Yeah.
In this country, we've heard of somebody who stole and bought generator for his church.
Yes, now. Yes. Yes, now. He stole money.
You know the story. Remember the story now. He stole money and bought generator for his church.
And took it.
So, for example, if you don't have a definite job you are doing, and you bring a hefty tithe, your pastor will not ask you.
All is after is the tithe. Just bring the tithe.
And they will ask you that where did this money? I thought they should ask that where did this money come from?
If you sow a seed and then you begin to hear millions, it can encourage corruption. Because what I know is that it is hard work that brings success. But they tell you, sow a seed. We are how to make millionaires. God is right. And you see, the pressure is on the people. You understand what I'm saying? And then this person comes with money. Maybe he has stolen money somewhere. And then he sows a seed.
No. Where
seed from stolen money.
Exactly. But where should the change start from? BKO said from the home. Or should it start from the top, down, up, everybody?
No, if it starts from the top.
Yes.
There's a problem with that.
Okay.
If it starts from the top, then before it cascades all the way down,
things would have
become also unbearable. But if we start from the base, that is from
the home,
because these were the teachings that we were familiar with as kids. Today, people respect you in the society based on how much money you have or how much money you have stolen. Some of the people hailing politicians parading the streets in multi-terrain vehicles and all that. They know that they're stealing money. They know now.
Yeah.
A politician who has houses in different places, he has bought nearly the entire houses in a community. He's looking for somebody who is distressed, who wants to sell his house. The idiot is looking for who is already has become vulnerable financially.
Sure.
Do you want to sell your house? Once you say you want to sell your house, he moves in, he buys that house. We know that they're stealing money, but we continue to hail them. When they are passing, we say, Sekai, Ranka, Lady. We will be hailing them. Some will even put clothes on the ground for them to walk on those clothes. We are supposed to demonize thieves.
Exactly.
We have reached a point that we even canonize thieves in our country rather than demonize them. Canonize them. We deify them rather than describe them as Luciferous people.
Yes.
We actually deify them, giving them the feeling that they are God. So how can we make progress? We are not prepared to fight corruption the way we are going.
I think a former governor said that until he starts stoning us, we won't stop. You know.
That one is like sanction. How do we prevent it? That's
do they stone people in Norway?
That is
exactly.
Do they stone people in try and steal in Norway now.
We need to improve our institutions.
You don't have to stone them.
You know,
go and see young boys today. They want to make money fast, so quick.
Exactly.
They want to do Yahoo.
But anyway,
there are Yahoo training schools.
Yes.
People have set up training schools.
But in just 20 seconds.
So many years back, I was operating a cyber cafe. You know, as a side hustle. There was another cyber cafe beside me that Yahoo boys were coming. So one boy came to me and said, I know you are a Christian. I know you will not encourage Yahoo yet like that other person. I said, no, I will not. A boy, just probably a teenager. That teenager came from a home. So the home is very important.
Exactly.
Very important.
Exactly.
Very important.
It's a fine place for us to leave at. Okay, Paul Dada, thank you very much. Appreciate it. PKO,
Thanks.
the veteran. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
That's it on Journalist Hangout today. Join us tomorrow for another episode of the program. You can watch the repeat broadcast of this episode tonight at 11. Join us on